Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going over the new cup. It's going to be Scroll Cup, and I've played only one team in this cup, and the reason I've only played one team is because it actually was amazing. It's definitely a team I just made up myself, so probably haven't seen it anywhere, but I guess we'll see. This is going to be a really long video because I put all my battles that I've done with this team. I think it's going to be 4 sets. I went 4-1, 4-1, 4-1, 5-0. So you can take that as, I mean, this team's very good. This meta is very limited. Dark types kind of beat a lot of the things in this meta. There is no charmer. No fairies allowed, rather. There is apparently one charmer, and we'll see it in this video. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it because this is going to be a long one. If you haven't, definitely hit the subscribe button. It helps me out so much here on the channel. Let's do it. All right, so you can see the team there on the left. It's going to be Annihilape with, it's Shadow Annihilape rather, with Ice Punch and Rage Fist. It's going to be Mandibuzz as the safe swap. It's very good in this meta. In a dark type meta where there are no fairies, Mandibuzz kind of beats all the other dark types. But that's usually with Snarl. I will say I really love Air Slash because I do think that there are going to be a lot of Annihilapes in this meta. And then my last mon there is going to be Morpeko. At the end of last season, I didn't make a video, but Morpeko was literally the reason I made it to Legend, and I got up to like 3250, something like that. So Morpeko, amazing when you can get into good matchups, when there's no charmers as well, or I keep saying charmers, when there's no fairy types, it really can dominate. Things you have to look out for, though, for the Morpeko is there are a lot of Gastrodons out there. I've seen several Quagsires and Whiscash as well. So, all right, let's get into it. You can basically spin your shields on Annihilape, or you can save your shields for Morpeko, or you can go one shield Annihilape, one shield Morpeko. Really, you're almost never going to be shielding Mandibuzz. So just to give you a little bit of how I do that. All right, let's do it. All right, Annihilape versus Annihilape lead. It's kind of annoying. They end up staying in for a little bit, but they stay in and then swap, which is interesting. Usually Annihilapes like to see if they win the CMP. Now, my Shadow is the only one I had as a Shadow, so I don't know exactly what the IVs are. I didn't look it up, but I win most of the CMPs. I don't win all of them, but I have won most of them, so I imagine it's a pretty bad Annihilape. Fix my camera here real quick. Oh. All right, Mandibuzz against the Sableye here. And this Sableye apparently didn't have, I don't know what their secondary move is because you shouldn't really be going foul play into the Mandibuzz there. The only thing I can think of is Shadow, what's the Shadow Sneak, yeah. They end up coming in with well, we know their lead is Annihilape, so they do have 2 counters on that Annihilape, so that's something I really have to think about. Now, if they end up switching in now, it's going to be tough because I think we are going to go to CMP because I'm too into this Rage Fist here, and we do go into CMP and actually lose to this guy. I think this is the only Annihilape I lost to. Again, I haven't looked at my IVs, but if it's my only Shadow, I imagine I just don't have a good one because the odds are pretty low. So the attack stat on this Annihilape must be very good. Now my switch is up. I could have switched to a Mandibuzz at any point, but I figured I'm gonna stay in with this, and I don't want energy to get thrown at this Mandibuzz. So if they're gonna CMP me on the next Rage Fist as well, they'll be out of energy, and I know that I was decently close to the move there on Mandibuzz, which I was 2 Air Slashes away. Morpeko, pretty easy here against Toxapex. It does about half HP, a little more than half, probably closer to 60%. Gastrodon lead, something I saw a lot, so I imagine that some creator must have made this type of team because I did see Gastrodon a ton in the front. Mandibuzz in the back is very good for Morpeko. I mean, you're going to resist every single move that this has, even if it had a crazy move like Shadow Ball. And then you can basically just farm it down after getting one of the energy balls off. Or Aura Wheel, that's what it's called. They end up coming with the Gastrodon. I thought about baiting here, but the problem is if I bait, I'm just going to end up going for double Psychic Fangs. So I decided I'll just go for the KO there. And Mandibuzz is very, very good against Gastrodon. So you notice I don't actually switch back into my Annihilape, which has all that energy. But I could switch at any point now. They end up coming in with Morpeko. Even though this move is resisted, I'm just trying to get my counter damage up, which is going to be super effective against the Morpekos. So probably worth shielding once. Maybe I could shield twice since I have energy anyways, if they did have another move. They end up coming in with the Gastrodon. I decided to try to go for CMP. Something to really note on the Gastrodon versus the Annihilape matchup, it's pretty weird. I don't know. They've almost always baited me, but I always shield. So I would say always shield, but it's tough because when they bait with Body Slam, it's double resisted by Annihilape. That's something that you really don't want to get caught shielding, but, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes that's just life. All right, I found out this thing existed in the cup. Brione? I don't know. Y'all let me know. I think it's Brione. Bronny? Oh, it's Bronny James. I'm actually just going to call this thing Bronny James. It's got Charm, and Charm's very good against this team. Now, it is non-stab, so doesn't do that much. Even the Disarming Voice is non-stab. This is the only Alola I saw, but it could be good in this cup. Has a lot of bulk to it. The problem is it has Psychic, which you... a lot of dark types in this cup, so a lot of resistances. And I haven't thought about it here. I was like, this is probably a Psychic, which is double resisted by the Morpeko. You don't really want to be using the shields on the double resisted moves. But I'm going to gain a lot of energy here. I'm going to go up to 100 energy, throw this. Have enough to throw something in the back. They still have a shield, so that is something to note. If they do end up coming in with Bronny James here, we're going to be 2 away, so throw on good timing, and we'll get to 2 Psychic Fangs. And boom. Although we get the damage registration error there. Unfortunate for our opponent, but I think technically we would have lived, so it's fine. They have Gastron on the back. We just go Rage Fist. Now, we're in a weird position here where Earth Power will probably KO this Annihilape, and we're not going to get to another move. But we have a decent amount of HP on Mandibuzz still, which is going to double resist the Mud Slaps. But this has to be either... Well, it could be Water Pulse as well. I did see one Gastrodon with Water Pulse. The others could have had it and they just didn't throw it because you don't get to many moves in this cup. This cup seems like a lot of things are pretty frail in this cup. Or you have big things like Annihilape and Shadow Annihilape and Morpeko, which really hurt a lot. All right, Bronny James comes out. Another good thing about this is that it is not a fairy type, even though it's throwing Charm at you, so you can throw your Dark Pulse, which is obviously going to be a much better move than Aerial Ace. And you'll see right here, Disarming Voice with non-stab and all these charms. Oh, it's Aqua Jet. We're still alive, right? And we won the zeros here pretty easily. We can't have won the 2s, but I'll probably come in Morpeko and farm this down before it can get to another move. Luckily, we didn't get that switch... the one-turn switch lag, whatever it is, that happens. And yeah, I'm going to Aura Wheel this. Does 35%, which is not bad. They end up coming in with Sableye here. Probably end up shielding this. We do have 2 shields. It is neutral. Going for Rage Fist, also neutral, considering that Sableye is a dark type, so that technically resists it, but is a ghost type, which takes super effective from Ghost. Going to come in with Morpeko. Probably have to shield. This is definitely a foul play. Do I win this game? It does not seem great. Oh yeah, there's no way to win, right? We had to make a call because Quagsire has a lot of energy. They end up coming with the Quagsire. I throw the R wheel here again, but that's going to be GG. Yeah, again, I didn't win all these games, but I wanted to show y'all all my games here. So let me know if you like that or not, I guess. The Gastrodon matchup's really good for Annihilape here. Plus, you definitely don't want to see it against Morpeko, even though you'd really love to see it more on Mandibuzz. Probably this is a bait, but again, you got to respect it. They can only throw the double body slam, so that's not too bad. They end up coming with Machamp. And I think about staying in here for a second. I mean, it probably has Rock Slide and Cross Chop. But then I was like, I'll come in with the Mandibuzz, try to keep my Annihilape a little bit more healthy, even though you're double resisting the counters. You technically resist all of this damage. I figured I would live a Cross Chop here. I think they actually end up undercharging because I'm pretty sure it does more damage than that. I think they thought I was going to shield, or they just wanted to get me low for whatever's in the back. But I have another move now that I can throw into something here, which is pretty nice. Probably wait to see what comes in. Ends up being that Gastrodon. This will KO it. I think it was at like 25-30%. A little lower maybe. And then I'll come in Morpeko just to see whatever's in the back here. And I can go for the Aura Wheel twice. Should be on the same timing, and it one-shots the Cool Fish. So that's GG. All right, Hitmonchan lead. Oh, this was a sick game. This was basically like Annihilape versus the entire team because you do resist the rollouts, which is nice. So they do end up coming in with the Blastoise, but they come in late. We got a few counters in, so I was able to get to that Rage Fist really fast, and then now these counters are doing an extreme amount of damage. End up KOing the Blastoise. If they do come back in with the Hitmonchan, they're going to get destroyed, so we might actually see what their last mon is, and I think their last mon ended up being a Low Kicks. So it's Darken Bug type, so its counter's going to be neutral, but you see that is a resisted Rage Fist that almost kills it there. I end up getting to the third buff here now with the Rage Fist. My counters are doing insane amount of damage. What is it, like 38% more damage than usual? And I'm going to shield this because I was like, I want to beat this whole team with Annihilape, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, Hitmonchan, I think Shadow Hitmonchan many seasons ago actually had a lot of play in Great League because it had, or in one of the cups rather, that is Great League oriented, because it has access to a lot of the punch moves, and 2 seasons ago those punches did get increased, so I can definitely see how it could be used in this cup. I actually might make a Shadow Hitmonchan team because I think it's sick. All right, they end up coming back in, or they end up doing a lot of damage, or they take my shield on a Fury Cutter Golisopod, which I think is actually probably pretty good for this cup. Golisopod's actually really good this season. So they end up coming back in. I try to make it to the Psychic Fangs. I'm not able to, but we have a Mandibuzz for this. Their switch is definitely not up because they switched after us, so we're probably going to be in this matchup another 5-8 seconds, and they might even just throw another move, and I'm going to go for the full farm down here and hope that Annihilape's good against whatever's in the back. There was a Guzzlord back there earlier, so if it's an ABB type team, Annihilape will be very good against the back, considering it's probably a dark type. Oh no, it ends up being a Gastrodon, which obviously very good for us, but we are getting pretty low here on the Mandibuzz. I don't want to get like farmed down or anything, and plus, it's not about getting farmed down. It's about them getting a lot of energy on Gastrodon and then me switching to Annihilape late and then having a ton of energy. So I want to be in here as fast as possible. This one is the one that actually had the Water Pulse, so pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm going to go for the Rage. I'm just constantly going for the Rage Fist here, and I know that I'm going to make it to this one. That's going to KO this Gastrodon. A lot of Gastrodon in this cup. A lot of Mandibuzz. Decent amount of Annihilape. Those are the main findings, I think. Those are the big mon in this cup. Annihilape, Mandibuzz, Gastrodon. And I think Annihilape is the best of those, so that's why I'm running the Shadow. All right, we do win CMP against this Annihilape. They decide not to shield, and you can just shield and power, just counter through the rest of this mon. If they decide to stand, probably they won't stand. They'll switch, and that's fine. We'll get a little bit of a lead here. I want to get back up to another move if possible. The Sableye Shadow, we do have to know that. We already showed case the Shadow Sableye. This does more than 50% if it's Dazzling Gleam. Yeah, it's somewhere in the 55% range, so I didn't think this was another Dazzling Gleam. They got to it pretty fast. It ends up being a foul play. They just want to use the energy they got. And I get greedy. It's not necessarily greedy. I didn't count, I think, this game, so is what it is. Probably come in Morpeko. Oh, I thought I was going to farm down with Morpeko because now we're super low here on the Annihilape. Their Annihilape is low. If they do end up coming back in with Annihilape, it means that they're weak to fighting in the back, which is interesting. And I want to see that mon. I don't know if throwing here is really necessary. Well, yeah, I don't think it was necessary. They end up having a Morpeko here in the back, and I decided my only win con is to just make a call. I went CMP, which is nice. That's going to give me basically +1 Thundershock. It's as if I got an extra Thundershock coming in, but they actually did get one extra than us. And I decided the only thing I can do is go for the baits and call the baits because they are up on energy and they had an extra shield over us. So I'm just going to keep calling baits and hope for the best. They end up calling the bait there. Probably, them calling a bait probably makes us lose this game, if I'm being honest. But if I ever go for an R wheel and they're baiting, I'm just never going to make it, right? We're always going to lose this fight. This was a tough game. I really needed more HP on the Annihilape to, I think, win this. And I'm going to just call the bait again, but this is going to almost kill me. Especially now that I'm 3 times debuffed. These Thundershocks are doing a lot. I actually was like 1.5. I was like probably 2 Thundershocks from winning that game. So, dang. All right, Guzzler in the front is good for us. I like to shield his farm all the way down if possible. You can go 4 and throw a Rage Fist if that's what you want to do. They end up coming in with Bronny James here. And we get the Rage Fist. This is obviously going to do a lot. I could just go back to back, or I could just switch into something. I decided actually to go into Morpeko this time and just try to outpace it. If they shield, they win switch. But both my mon are pretty good against what's left in the back. They do end up letting this go because they know that they can probably just farm this down with Guzzlord. Actually, not that easy because our wheel will KO from here, especially when we're 1 times buffed from the first R wheel that went through. So I'm going to see their last mon. Guess which mon it is. Oh, I'm not going to lie. I thought it was Gastrodon to the top, but it's Quagsire. I think Quagsire is a very good adaptation in this cup. It has the same strengths of having that typing of the ground typing, but it has a little bit better coverage because it does have Stone Edge. And then you can decide whether or not you're going Mud Bomb or Aqua Tail. Personally, Aqua Tail's the best, but I could see where you're having trouble maybe against Bronny James and you don't want to go Stone Edge every time. So, all right. Didn't see much Malamar in this cup. This is superpower. That's the only way they can outpace you. Takes 9 turns, and it takes you the 10 turns to get to R wheel. But they end up coming in with Arachnid. Now, we do super effective against Arachnid. Obviously, it's a water type, but it does have a lot of HP. I go for this R wheel here. This is Bubble Beam 100%. There's no way they could have outpaced us to this, or paced to this with what we were doing. I probably do wish we had thrown first. We'd at least have some sort of chance of KOing it. So, pretty greedy by me. I decided to come in with a Mandibuzz, try to get the farm down. I actually get the farm down before they get to a bubble beam rather. So they end up coming in with more Morpeko. Now I have a ton of energy, which is pretty nice. I can go for the Dark Pulse here and probably make it to another Dark Pulse. You do not get one shot by... It's really close though. You don't get one shot though by our wheels. So they're going to go for the farm down, and it's just a question of can we make it to another move, and we actually do not. So I'm going to come in with Annihilape, farm this down. Probably have to shield once. I go for the catch. Just let it go. This is an R wheel, I'm pretty sure. And then we farm it down, and we have a bit of an energy advantage on this Malamar. And I remember this game, they actually let this Rage Fist go through. And then I just am able to fully farm this down. And I even thought about it the whole time. They're not going to have enough energy to outpace us to get to a foul play, which will KO us. They're probably going to go for a superpower first and a foul play second. And we double resist the superpower. But again, not a risk I'm willing to take, especially with such an energy lead. I decided to just go for that farm down, or the boost, and them taking the damage, and us having that energy lead for them to take the first one to shield the second. All right, they go for a Scald here. We're going to be able to farm this all the way down. We have a lot of we have enough for a Rage Fist, plus we've already boosted once. I end up going for the Ice Punch. It's boosted once, and then I go into the super hard counter matchup so that they will show their last Mon. End up going for the Psychic Fangs there. And they actually shielded, which is pretty bad, if I'm being honest. I could shield this. Ooh, I remember this game. I think there were many times that I could have shielded, and I chose not to shield each time, and I didn't know if it was the choice. I ended up losing basically 4.5, 5 Thunder Shocks on Morpeko, and I would have lost 5 counters here on worth of energy rather for both of those on these 2 Mon. I decided not to lose that energy, get that extra counter damage in, and this is basically more than an Aerial Ace can do. So he's got about, it's either 4 or 5. I think it's 5. I think it's 4 actually. It's 4 or 5 air slash lead on us. So he almost has a full extra air slash that he can, Aerial Ace that he can throw at us. But if you look at the HP bars, that's not going to be enough for him to overtake us in this matchup. So my next Aerial Ace will KO, but I'm very close to just the air slashes KOing as well. So it's a question of do we think he is going to have 2 here, which he can't. So we're going to end up winning this. Probably we're about 2. Dark Pulse. Did he go Dark Pulse the whole time? Weird. All right, Lantern. I mean, this is the best matchup for us to see it. We're going to get the boost. We can shield once and farm down. Kind of the same as the Whiscash. Kind of the same as the Gastrodon. Kind of the same as all the matchups that Annihilape's in. That's why I'm saying you want to save 1 shield for Annihilape, save 1 shield for Morpeko. It's probably the best way to go about using this team. Again, Morpeko's good in this matchup, but I mean, honestly, us boosting into this next matchup is going to be great for us. I decided I'm going to go for the Ice Punch here as well. And then I'll probably end up switching into Morpeko right here. Yeah, same thing kind of that like I did last time. Again, you want to throw Aura Wheel into Annihilape if they don't have shield. It has more of a chance of basically one-shotting. And then you can decide whether or not you want to shield this move coming up. Honestly, I'm going to shield it. They're not going to air slash me down. Oh, I didn't shield it. You could shield it here, though. It'd be perfectly fine. They're not going to get that air slash down. But again, I've got a shield and their Mandibuzz doesn't. And we've also got a 40% HP lead. Jellicent, not a mon I thought I would see much in this league. They end up coming in with Primeape. What did I just say? I said you should go R-Wheel here. I'm not listening to what I should be doing. So you should almost always go R-Wheel against these things because the odds of you farming them down before they farm you down when they're boosting, pretty low. Obviously, you're kind of boosting yourself as well. So I decide, oh, I'm going to boost here, but they're going to get another, I mean, they're going to shield and do another one to us, and we're probably going to end up shielding that. Although maybe I really shouldn't be shielding this, but I really wanted to go into the Jellicent matchup with Mandibuzz. Obviously, that's an insanely good matchup for us. And then it's a question of, do we think we can get the shield here? We resist the Hex there. So Jellicent's actually hugely buffed in this season. Oh, we got damage registration error in our favor. Pretty good for us, and unfavorable for the opponent. Oh, what I was saying, yeah. Jellicent, really good in this season. Kind of hoping they go Psychic Fangs here because our wheel is the right thing for them to do, and they don't do it. So, going to get that extra counter damage through, yeah. Jellicent, again, has Hex. So, Hex buff this season means Jellicent's buff this season. It's a Ghost type, really good against fighters, especially something like Annihilape, which you're going to probably see a lot in this season. I'm not even talking about this cup necessarily. In fact, this cup Jellicent's probably not that great considering all the dark types. I'm talking about Open Great League in general. All right, Sableye. So Sableye is one of the harder things for us to face. This already looks like it's going to be a total loss because they can just have a huge energy lead here. I always think, should I be shielding this? Because R-Wheels, the electric R-Wheels, like the strongest move that we might face in this game. But he's going to make it to another one, but he's never going to KO on the next one. I don't know. Maybe we should be shielding in the Morpeko matchup, but it just feels so bad because we're just so bad in that matchup. I might have to shield here. He's already boosted, and our wheel would be devastating. And that's probably game because he's just going to Psychic Fangs this here, so I end up going for the no shield. Not worth it. Let us see what the last mon is at least. Oh, he got to another one? Terrible. I'm not shielding. I don't give a hoot. Gastrodon in the back. Nice. All right, let's let it go. Honestly, the safe swap's been Mandibuzz for me, but maybe the safe swap should be Morpeko. At least we'll see this Gastrodon. All right, another Lantern lead here. Again, maybe someone's got a team. I haven't seen Lantern in quite a while. Gastrodon makes a lot more sense. It has been around these last few seasons near the top, so I wouldn't say it's like... I guess it's a Metamon, but it's very close to the edge of that meta. It's very on the fringe. Hakamo, pretty neutral against a lot of things in this cup, considering it has Dragon Tail. Also has Brick Break for the more Pekos. And then it's kind of a way of boosting in a way. Dragon Claw going to be... Oh, it's actually neutral against everything because no fairies in this cup. No steel types. Okay, Hakamo seems very good. Lantern was pretty low after the Rage Fist. Probably not going to get KO'd here. Maybe switch to Annihilape. I don't know about Rage Fist here, but could have gone for the farm down, but maybe we'll see what the last mon is anyways. Ends up being another Annihilape themselves. Let's see if we win CMP. We do, which is nice, because I'll probably end up letting this Annihilape go. I don't think... Do I have enough health to survive 6 counters boosted? I decided not. I have a move on Mandibuzz, so maybe I just throw the move and then come in Morpeko. My clock is back up. And again, you want to go for R-Wheel. They're in range of R-Wheel and not Psychic Fangs. And I have a shield, so they're only going to get 1 move off. All right, Annihilape Bleed, another thing you don't really want to see. Again, from what I've seen, you don't want to see Bronny James in the front. You don't want to see Sableye in the front. Annihilape's pretty weird. I think it's fine, even if you're losing the CMPs. Maybe you catch in the end, take both shields from both of y'all, catch on Mandibuzz or something. But yeah, you can beat this later if you lose to it in the front. They end up coming in with a Drapion. I'm going to shield farm this all the way down. I think they ended up going for a crunch here. They're only going to get 1 move off anyways. Might as well see if you get the defense drop, which we did get dropped, which is terrible. I figured they were going to come back in with the Annihilape, so I decided to go for the CMP. They did not go for the CMP, which makes sense. They lost CMP earlier, so I'm going to keep my Annihilape. I'm going to keep my Annihilape alive in the back in case they have something that's weak to fighting. Guzzlord was around decent amount. Okay, ends up being a Shadow Blastoise, which is interesting. Blastoise, amazing. Obviously, we showed a video on that one. Rollett's just a fast move to get to your charge attacks. I mean, it's charging your energy fast to get to your charge attacks. And Hydro Cannon, obviously a very good fast attack. End up coming in here with Annihilape so that Annihilape could eat this energy. Now they've thrown 2 Hydro Cannons pretty close to each other. And we get the Morpeko farm down here. And they're obviously low enough to go for the Psychic Fangs here instead of the normal go for R-Wheel. Gastrodon lead. We've seen it a million times. You win this. It doesn't matter if they bait. Remember to throw on 7. You have a 2-turn move. They have a 3-turn move. So you can throw on 7, which is at 14. And they'll be on their way to their 15th turn, which is 5. They end up catching on Mandibuzz. I can get a little bit of energy back, or I can just switch to Morpeko. Doesn't really matter. They're pretty close to being in range of R-Wheel here. I'm going to let them throw first, just so that I can get a little bit more energy. Because since they're in that range for R-Wheel, I want to just have energy. I throw on horrific timing because I'm at 100 energy, and again, don't really care or respect this Mandibuzz. I have a move, so I go for the R-Wheel. I think this was CMP, so maybe it's fine. I was about to say maybe we could have gone for the Psychic Fangs, but since it was CMP, that's fine. Just let it go. Take the last shield, come in with Annihilape, farm down. You saw I tried to switch out. Oh yeah, why wouldn't I come with Mandibuzz? Because now I don't care about the moves. If they end up throwing an Earth Power, it's double resisted, which they did. They have a Quagsire in the back. GG, add 2 shields. All right, Lucario is crazy. Also, us lagging is crazy. And Bullet Seed Mantine, I don't know if someone showed Mantine, but there was more than one Mantine. You'll see another Mantine come up. And if Mantine's going to be in this meta, Morpeko is going to eat. I tell you what, because I mean, what can it really do? Water Pulse is the worst move it can throw at you, but you resist. Well, wait a minute. So the reason they're using Bullet Seed here is because Wing Attack got nerfed 2 or 3 seasons ago. So it makes sense. Probably just let this go, come with an Annihilape, farm down, get that huge energy lead. They're not really doing super effective to you because, yeah. All right, well, it's Gastrodon. I go for a little bit of energy and then switch to something that hard counters it. I still have 2 shields if it's Annihilape. And that's GG. Now, it's not GG on the board yet. So we're going to let them... again, we're just going to let them throw a few moves, try to go up to almost 2. Dark Pulses, I probably won't go all the way just because I don't want them to throw another move. But, yeah, that's GG. They just don't know it yet. That probably made a lot of noise. Sorry about that. Anyways, Lucario is a fighting type. What is the name of that move? Force Punch? Man, it's been a while since it got that move, and I'm definitely forgetting what it's called. But I think it is called Force Punch. And that's GG. Whiscash, another one I saw in the lead a lot. It kind of just seems like lead a ground type, win the game type thing. Maybe a lot of these people running into a lot of Morpekos. I think I remember this team specifically had 2 ground types on it. And I was like, man, these people hate Morpeko. But I think it was a Mandibuzz as its third. That'd be crazy if I remember this. These battles are over the past few days. I've only played 4 sets over the past... Well, what's today? Thursday, and this cup was on Tuesday. So in 3 days, I've played 4 sets. Oh, it ended up being an Annihilape. All right. Well, if this ends up being a ground type in the back, they're going to be triple strong against Morpeko. Which, to be honest, not bad. That's probably a good thing. Oh, no, it ends up being the other Mantine. All right, GG. I thought they left, but I think they end up shielding this. Or they let it go, and then they start doing moves on Annihilape. Oh, never mind. Didn't remember it well. All right, well, this was a few days ago. All right, Gastrodon. Bad for us. I'm already expecting this to be a loss. Although, they end up shielding here, and I think I do make it to an R wheel on CMP if they do end up throwing. They don't end up throwing, they're going for the farm down. So I'm probably going to get both shields or actually KO this Gastrodon. Never shield the first move as a Gastrodon against the Morpeko. Even though I'm not the one running the Gastrodon here, just trying to give you all some helpful advice, hopefully. Body Slam. You know they don't have Water Pulse. Body Slam just doesn't do that much. Again, probably almost go up to 2 Dark Pulse here and then throw. Should be fine. They actually end up coming in with Sableye. Don't care. This is a matchup I want to be in Sableye against. Shadow Claw is super effective against Annihilape. And they are running non-Shadow here. I think if you're not running Shadow, then you should be running Purified. I actually didn't think they were at that move. And if you're not running Shadow nor Purified, I don't think you should be running regular Sableye. I don't think it's that good. That's my own point of view, though. And that's coming from someone who hasn't used one. So, all right. Toxapex in the back. Take it with a grain of salt. Toxapex in the back. And I'm going to have to shield this, I think. I bet it's a Body Slam. Yeah, fun. All right. Farm it down. Toxapex takes a long time to get to its moves, and even though they resist counter, Rage Fist does a lot. I don't know why you should be throwing your Rage Fist right away. I don't know why I'm waiting. Stupid. But the next Rage Fist almost KOs, and we still have a little bit of mana. We have a little bit of Mandibuzz left, but this next one should KO or get into 1 counter, maybe even 2 counter range. I think it's gonna KO though, and we still have 1 more Air Slash on Mandibuzz to really take it out. Toxapex lead. It's not bad for Annihilape. Brian doesn't do that much damage, even though we are Shadow and very low attack. Or very high attack, very low defense. But you might want to shield anyways. They might shield the next one as it is, the Rage Fist. So I'm going to go all the way up to CMP and hope that they think that this KOs. It actually doesn't. But they shield, which is great for us because we know the next one will KO. That's risky to do. Maybe you shouldn't be doing that. End up going into the Mandibuzz here against the Jellicent. I think this is the Jellicent that had Ice Beam. And I kind of disrespected this Jellicent a bit too much. Oh no, this is not the one. There's a Jellicent later that I super disrespect. Actually, it might be this one. With the Surfs. Because I think I end up going for CMP here. Yeah, I should have thrown one before. It's fine. They don't make it to another Surf. And we have 2 Dark Pulses plus whatever energy we get here because the Dark Pulse doesn't KO. I think we're going to go one more Air Slash. Yeah. They switched into this, actually. That's something to note. Okay, we'll go back into the Annihilape here. We do have Ice Punch. I think they end up shielding this, and that's regrettable because we are basically in range of getting KO'd. I just want to get this down to... I come with the Mandibuzz hoping they're going to throw a move. And we don't get to the Aerial Ace. Now we're just screwed. GG. I can't throw Psychic Fangs here. It doesn't really matter. They have another move. I could KO this still. Oh no, it's Dragon Claw. Okay. I was going to say and see what their last mon is. Alright, Guzzlord lead. Actually, a decent amount of Guzzlords. 1496 Guzzlord is some crazy work. That's some nasty work right there. Let me see. Wait, what was the last one? No, never mind. Alright, they come in with Tentacruel. I can just go on Morpeko here. It's pretty easily. I want to go R Wheel. We end up CMPing. You don't want to get Acid Sprayed. But if they shield, I probably just won't shield. They end up coming with Guzzlord. We're going to get to R Wheel, which is obviously going to KO from here. They might let it go. If they have something that just hard beats this in the back, that can farm up as well. Because my switch is not up. Gonna come in... Okay, I was gonna say come in Annihilate, but Mandibuzz makes a lot more sense here because you can just eat these moves and get a little bit of lead and see what this mon is here in the back. Ends up being a Feraligatr. I think we don't even care about this move if it's Ice Beam. So I'm just not gonna shield. Doesn't KO. They'd have to throw another move. We get the Dark Pulse here. I am gonna switch after this and get to a move on Annihilape or just farm down. Yeah, GG. Farm down everything with Annihilape. That's kind of the key to this team. Gastrodon lead. Throw on 7. Rage Fist. Always shield their move. Farm it down. If they shield this, then you can shield and throw the second one, and it's fine as well. This matchup's never bad for you if you want it to be. I guess they could farm you down in like a 2s and never throw a move, but then you get 2 shields, so it's whatever. I really want Morpeko to be on this thing, so I was like, maybe I just let Annihilape go. And then I was like, nah, we'll just go into Mandibuzz. That's fine. They have a Morpeko against us. It's fine. We're going to do some damage to it. Again, I'm pressed with the question of, should I be shielding the R Wheel? Gonna let it go. Have the Dark Pulse. They're going to farm me down before I get to an Aerial Ace. Otherwise, I would throw air. No, wait. We have a decent amount of HP here. If we get to the Aerial Ace, no, we won't. Alright, Annihilate. We don't need the shield for Morpeko. So maybe I shield this and try to farm as much as possible here. I'll let it go. Oh, I don't have a shield. I was like, I'll let it go. No, we have to let it go. We don't have a shield. But I think I'll be able to farm this down before they get to the Psychic Fangs. Ooh. I'll probably end up R-wheeling this anyways, just to get my my attack up in this matchup, so that I can just make sure that I farm down their Morpeko before they can make it to a move. And they're gonna get farmed down before they get to another move here, so that didn't really matter at all on their side. But we actually ended up making it to the Psychic Fangs anyways, double resisted by Morpeko, but they're at like 15%. They're like at 10%. Pangoro. Definitely not the one you see much. They end up coming with a Jellicent here. I'm pretty sure that's the only Pangoro I saw. Now, Pangoro is very good against other dark types, but is very bad against Annihilape. So, The question is, do you see more teams with or without Annihilape? And if the answer is without, then you're fine sacrificing it to any leading Annihilapes, because that doesn't even matter. If the Annihilape's not in the lead, I don't think that Pangoro really cares, because I'm sure the back is having some sort of fighting coverage, which here you see Jellicent is one of those fighting coverage Mon. We get a bit of a lead here on Annihilape. We get to see their last Mon ends up being a Drapion, which means that I'm just going to boost here. Obviously, this is resisted. I'm just trying to boost my counter damage, which is going to be neutral against this Drapion. But look how much damage it's doing. A lot. Probably going to end up getting the shield here. I guess I would rather throw the Rage Fist into Drapion and just have the counter damage only against Pangoro. But it looks like I have to shield it. I have to do as much counter damage as I can to the Pangoro. 1, 2, 3, and he left. But we would have done 4 counters there. We would have gotten it down to about 25%. Blastoise, don't care about this thing in the front either. Again, we're going to go to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. They throw on bad timing, it looks like. They end up coming in with whatever this is. I actually think this is the evolved form of that Bronny James. I'm going to call this thing LeBron James. All right, so LeBron comes in. I have no idea what this thing does. Okay, it does Aerial Ace. That's a thing. I think it has Hydro Cannon, actually. There was a community day, right? Probably we're going to end up seeing what the move is. It moves around like crazy. Oh, close combat? Wow. All right, we take out LeBron there. Oh, I thought I saw... Oh, they actually could be running both. Oh my god, I hope this is Blastoise Double James. You know, it's so funny. I'm going to forget about these nicknames, I think, instantly after this video. Although I like what I really love the Bronny James, and I'm 90% sure that that thing is the evolved form of that. So it has to be LeBron. Oh, wow. We're done. All right. A long video there, but I don't know how many videos I'm going to get out of this cup. And I think I'm going to be running this team always. So, the whole time, because I really love this team. I gave myself a little fright there. I thought I didn't record the audio, but I do see it moving. So, not going to say much. We went through a ton of matchups, obviously, there. I guess if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what team you're running for this new cup. I kind of doubt I'm going to try anything new. This team just kind of works. And that's rare for me to find a team that fast, to be honest. So, I want to run this for as many days as I can. Try to get the ins and outs, but you guys saw in the battles, I pretty much know them. So find your team, even if it's not this team. Learn the ins and outs. These limited meta cups, I think, is really where a lot of people can gain a lot of rating and wins. So, all right, this one's been a long one, so I'm gonna let y'all go. If you haven't, hopefully think about subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. Trying to get to 9,000, I guess. What am I trying to get to? Honestly, at the end of the day, trying to get to 10,000, but we're at 8240, so you could be one more to help me out on that journey. See ya. Hey, thank you for watching the video, and if you want to continue to support me, definitely click that subscribe button. You'll see any content coming out, and if you want another video on this same league for some more tips and tricks to other teams, check that video out right there, and I'll see you in the next one.